What's going on, everyone? It's your girl Brooklyn Stace, and welcome back to my channel. Well, today, as you see, I'm going to be doing a recipe. This, guys, is one of my favorite recipes. Sometimes I don't feel like eating meat, and so I will go with this vegetarian crockpot chili recipe, which is what I'm going to be doing and showing you how I make today. So this is really simple to make. It's really easy, and it's all one pot. Easy cleanup, no mess, next to no mess. You'll love it. You'll be sharing this, and it's not only to be consumed during the winter months. I know a lot of people will go ahead and make chilies and soups during the winter, but I do that all the time, all year round. So just want to show you, I've already cut up some vegetables to save time. And so the three things that I have cut up are the red onions, or some people call purple onions, to which I love. So I have quite a bit of them. You can do a medium onion, you could do a medium green pepper, and you kind of rough chop everything. And then a medium sweet potato. Now, as you can see, I've left two because I'm going to show you here how I just cut it up. Just cut it up in half, and then take and cut it in half again. Now, as the sweet potato gets thicker in the middle, you'll notice that, when you cut it up, some of your pieces will be larger. So with that, just cut it again in half. So instead of 4 pieces, you'll cut like the mid pieces in eighths. And so that's good enough, because it's going to cook down, but you don't want to have big chunks. So you can cut it again, but if you like the big chunks, well, by all means, leave it just like that. Okay, so the types of beans I'm going to be using are garbanzo beans or chickpeas. How many of you knew garbanzo beans was chickpeas? Black beans. Now I have the Cuban style black beans, but any type of black beans will do. Just get the 15-ounce can. And we're going to be using 1 can of each type of bean. I do have light red kidney beans. You can use dark red kidney beans. Light red is just what I had in my cabinet. So I'm going to be using not 1 but 2 cans of fire roasted diced tomatoes. So if there's a 15-ounce can, 15.5-ounce can, use 2 of them. If you have the big 28-ounce can, we'll just use 1, but I'm going to be using 2 15-ounce cans. Some complete seasoning. I'm going to also be using some cumin, ground cumin, smoked paprika, and cinnamon. Yes. Have you ever had cinnamon in your chili? Well, I'm putting cinnamon in mine. Another surprise ingredient that I'm going to be using is Hershey's cocoa. Well, not Hershey's, but Hershey's or any type of cocoa. Unsweetened cocoa is the main thing. So those 2, cocoa and cinnamon, those 2 ingredients. Yep. So I'm also going to be using the crushed red pepper. Now, because I'm going to be using crushed red pepper, I'm not going to be using the black pepper, because crushed red pepper is enough heat for me. But, either you can opt to use more crushed red pepper, or you can use crushed red and black pepper, or all black pepper, whatever you like. Some minced garlic, some chili powder. Although I have onions, I'm going to be using onion powder just to enhance it. And then although I have garlic, I'm going to be using granulated garlic powder along with the minced garlic. Onions and garlic, yeah, your girl loves that. So all of that's going to be going into this crock pot, to which I've had forever. I don't even know if they make this style of crock pot anymore, but I love it. So we're going to start with our clean crock pot. And like I said, I've had it for so long. So if you see those little scratches, it's clean. It's just, from using it for all this time. And, with the metal spoon, it creates those little marks on it. All right. So as they say, you've had something forever and a day. Well, guess what? I've had it forever and 2 days. So that's why you see those little marks on it. But, start off with clean hands, clean crock pot, and you're good to go. All right, so let's go ahead and get started and get our ingredients in. So first things first, we're going to start with our garbanzo beans, or our chickpeas. And we're going to start use the juice and all in all of our beans. A can of black beans, empty that out. Next up being that we're going to empty out a can of our kidney beans, juice and all. If you choose to drain it, then you just need to add a little bit more liquid, but use the juice in there. It'll be fine, trust me. But everybody, you do whatever it is you would normally do when you're cooking. All right. Now, fire roasted diced tomatoes. We're going to add the first can. And this is going to bring out some really great flavors when you use fire roasted diced tomatoes versus plain diced tomatoes. It's chili, so you want to, make sure you use the right type to bring in the right flavor. There's the second can of the fire roasted diced tomatoes. And then after that, we're going to start with our seasoning ingredient. But before we do that, actually, we're going to start off with our sweet potatoes. I'm doing a voiceover, guys. So, and then our, cut up red onions and our green peppers. Why am I doing a voiceover? Because after I recorded it, I realized my phone was on airplane mode, so there was no sound. And I had already mixed everything up, so had to come back and do a voiceover. So forgive me if things are lagging or not in sequence. Now we're going to come in with our dry seasoning, but before we do that, we'll add the actual minced garlic. Now what I'm doing here is showing you that half of a teaspoon of the minced garlic is equal to half of a clove of garlic. We're going to use 2 cloves. So therefore 1 teaspoon is equal to what? 1 clove. And then 2 teaspoons is equal to 2 cloves. So got to think about that and do your math. But when I'm winging it, I just put the garlic in it. But just for the ingredients and the recipe's sake, I want to tell you the right amount to put in it. So let's go ahead and get the 2 tablespoons of the garlic. As you see, I'm looking here and I'm like, okay, yeah, half a teaspoon equals 1. I'm doing the math in my head as I'm talking. So we're going to do the 2 teaspoons of the garlic. And so we've got that in there. And yet and still, as you see, I'm going to add some dried garlic powder to it. So, and the next seasoning that I'm going to be using is chili powder. So I'm going to take a full tablespoon of chili powder and add that. Now mine says dark chili powder, but you don't have to get exactly what I have. As long as it says chili powder, you're good to go. All right, so don't worry about that. So we'll go ahead and sprinkle that in, and look at those colors already. They're so pretty. I just love vibrant colors. Next up is our cumin. So I'm going ahead and I'm going to use a full tablespoon of ground cumin for some extra added smoky flavor. And get that all sprinkled in there. Next ingredient that I'm going to be using is going to be the cocoa. That's the unsweetened cocoa, and I'm going to be using 2 teaspoons of the unsweetened cocoa. Trust me, guys, don't worry about it when you see that I'm using cocoa and cinnamon. You're really not going to be able to taste it. So it's just 2 teaspoons, and it just enhances the flavor, and you'll see. As well as the cinnamon. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. The first time I made it, I was like, cinnamon and unsweetened cocoa? But guess what? Didn't taste it. It just enhanced the other flavors, and it just tastes good. I don't even want to know what it tastes like without it now that I've made it with it. So go ahead and put 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon in that. And you just level that off just to make sure you're not putting too much, because then you'll end up tasting the cinnamon. Who wants cinnamon flavored cocoa? Maybe kids, because it's kind of a sweet flavor. But 2 teaspoons of that will suffice. And so the next thing we're going to put in is that smoked paprika. I'm using a half a teaspoon of the smoked paprika, just for some added smokiness. We already have the smokiness of the chili powder and the cumin, so just a half a teaspoon will do. Now I'm going to put in a full teaspoon of complete seasoning. I use complete seasoning with just about everything because guess what? It completes the seasoning. And then I'm going to go in with just a teaspoon of crushed red pepper. Now you can make 2 teaspoons, 3 teaspoons, whatever heat flavor you want to put in your chili. If you like it fire engine red, heat or hot, then you go for it. But 1 teaspoon is good enough for me, and I'm not going to use the black pepper because, again, that's enough heat for me. And, you know, I can taste it. So it just depends on your own personal flavor. So I'm going to go in with, you saw me go in with the onion powder, and that's just 1 teaspoon of that. And then I'm going to add in a teaspoon of garlic powder. And then as far as this next ingredient is optional because you already have the juice that's from the cans in the beans. So it's optional, but I'm just going to add a 1/2 cup of water. Now, I've made it without a 1/2 cup of water and it was fine. This just makes it a little bit more thin, but if you feel like it's too thin for you, then you can thicken it up with a thickening agent of your choice, cornstarch or old school like grandma used to do with the flour and the water. But so that 1/2 cup of water is optional. You can do fine without it. And we're just mixing it up here. All of the flavors, all of the seasonings, and, you know, getting it ready to put in the crock pot. And look at those colors. Aren't they pretty? The red onions, the green pepper, all of the different colored beans, the sweet potato. It's just pretty. You know, when I see vibrant vegetables, and it's like, oh my goodness, that looks good. And then you can imagine with all of the seasonings that we have, how good this is going to taste, guys. I'm telling you, try it. You'll love it. Thank me later. So as you see, I'm just getting it scraped down on the sides, getting those seasonings well incorporated into the vegetables and the beans. All right, so now it's all incorporated and we are ready to go. So now we have our handy dandy crock pot. I tell you, I love this thing. I don't even know how long I've had it. I doubt if they even make this version anymore. They probably have upgraded it. I have a couple of dents, couple little casualty marks on it because I've had it for so long. It comes with its own cover that I can take, separate the actual pot and put it in this zip cover to keep things warm and from spilling all over everywhere. I really love this thing. So, you know, hey, Rival, if you're watching, you can sponsor your girl with a new upgraded crock pot. I'll be glad to do some recipes in it. So holla at your girl. But I do love this thing. So let's get this chili started. So I'm just going to do it on 6 hours. I'm going to do it for 6 hours. It can do 8 hours. There's a 4 hour, 6 hours, 8 hours, or 10 hour. So I'm just going to choose the middle and just do 6 hours. And that'll be good enough for this chili. Sometimes I have done it for 8, but I've never done my chili on 10 hours. I would leave that for meats or anything, the stews that I'm doing. So just 6 hours, and you just kind of set it and forget it. So guys, drop your comments below. What's your favorite crock pot recipe? So I'll be back in about 3 hours or so, just to let you see, you know, how it is doing, and just to show you how it is doing, how it is cooking up, and then we'll stir it up, and then we'll put the top back on it, and we'll let it go. If you like what you've seen so far and what you've heard so far, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and also comment below. I want to hear what your comments are in regards to this recipe. Have you tried it? Let me know. All right. So I will see you in a bit. Hi guys, so it's a few hours in, we're back. Let's check and see what our vegetarian crock pot chili is doing now. Smells delicious. Let's check it out. Wow. Check that out. Let's go ahead and give that a stir. Look at that. That is good. That looks so good. It smells great. The seasonings that have marinated and married on one another. This is looking really, really delicious, guys. So what we're going to do is let it finish its cycle and everything will get seasoned, even more seasoned, more tender, and more cooked up and almost ready to serve. Can't wait till it's ready, guys. So we'll come back and we'll see you in a few.
Yeah.
Okay guys, welcome back. It is officially 6 hours later. I've got to tell you that this house smells absolutely delicious. So our crock pot vegetarian chili is done. Let's bring it close so we can take a closer look. Let's get it in the camera shot really good. Look at that. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Oh my gosh, this is so good. So what we're going to do is just show you how thick it actually is before we go to plate this up. And I just wanted to show you how thick it is. See how rich and thick it's become. Now just a word to the wise, if this is not thick enough for you, you do your own thing. Some of you may want to put some, I don't know, cornstarch or old school like grandma used to do, the flour in the water when she make the gravies, or just put some cornstarch and some water and that will thicken it up even more. But you know, just understand that the next day it's going to be even thicker. So this is how thick it is, which is just thick enough for me. You do what you want to do with your chili. Okay. Another thing I wanted to say is you may notice that I did not put any salt in it. I am a person that does not cook with salt. So I just let the natural sodium in foods come out. And with the other seasonings, I just find that, you know, I don't need any salt. Okay. So you may want to, you season it to your taste. You may want to put salt in it, but I never cook with salt. Okay. So I just wanted to say that part. So now let's go ahead and get this plated up and get it in a bowl. And then it's time to eat. All right, so now I'm going to I have a ladle and I'm actually going to just mix it up just a little bit more. And try not to make a mess. Take my ladle and ladle some of this, ooh, look at that chili, yum, into here. Take another ladle of it. There we are. Now, this can be all that she wrote as far as chili. But, you know, some people, you may want to add something like perhaps some rice or some tortilla chips, or, you know, it's different things that, you know, people eat with chili. Whatever it is that you eat with chili, you may want to add. So what I've done is I'm going to actually add some white rice to this. Let me move this out of the way and get this here, this good stuff in the camera shot there. There we are. And so what I have here is just, I measured out a cup of rice, you know, trying to limit the intake of rice. So I don't have it that often. So I measured out 1 cup. I'm just going to invert it here. And yep, that was a dump. I am not a chef. I am a home cook. So, and there you have the rice there. And then also, you know, I have a green onion that I chopped up. So basically, you know, you just chop up your green onion. You can do 1 or 2, whatever it is that you like. You can go ahead and chop it up. And here's my green onion. Just wanted to show you my beautiful stalk of green onion. So I'm just going to use that for garnish. Now, if you heard me in the beginning, I said what I love onions. So I can never have enough onions. So I'm going to use just about all of this. And then that's good enough for garnish. That looks pretty. And now also what I'm going to do, now this is definitely optional. I have some light sour cream that I'm going to add. And, you know, some people that don't want to stay away from dairy, like I said, this is totally optional. It's up to you. I'm just going to put a little small dollop here on top. Boom. There we are. And so that is our vegetarian chili with a little bit of sour cream on top just for presentation. All right. So like, share, subscribe. You may know someone that is looking for a good recipe. And I must say, this is definitely that. I've been making this for a while. I've even shared it with some people and they're like, oh, this is good. How did you make it? So now you guys know how I make my vegetarian chili. And no, I'm not a vegetarian. And I don't play one on TV either. But, you know, it's just times when I just don't feel like eating meat. And so on those times that I don't feel like eating meat, I eat this. And, you know, as well as some other things that I've come up with. But this is very satisfying and I don't even miss the meat. Now, if you are one that just has to have meat, well then by all means you add it. You add your meat of choice and, you know, have at it. But this, look at that. Ooh, let me get a little closer to the camera and show you how good this looks. All right, guys. So if you like what you've seen, you see how easy this is. You saw how easy this is. So if you like what it is that you just watched, give me a thumbs up. It takes a millisecond. I see the people that are liking. I see people that are subscribing. But I also see when people just view and then they click off. Just tap the thumbs up. Why? Because it does help out the channel and it does help this video and this recipe to be shared to other people who may be looking for something such as this. All right. So definitely support the channel. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And until the next time, be well. Bye-bye.